can be hard to transition back over to your region after spending so much time in Europe. Everyone's playing so prim and proper over there, right? They're playing the stock standard CS, but I do feel like they've come through and they've figured out those adjustments and you know, are able to handle Sharks so far very effectively, which is going to make it very difficult for this this next map. We'll see if they can do it. We'll see if they can pull it through. Again, we'll put a lot of pressure on the stars here because Mirage can be a very individualistic map. So if you see players like Doc and gafolo start to hit their strides, they could find themselves in a good spot.
So let's go ahead and watch. Can Sharks bring some fight back into the series, or will it just be MIBR being the caliber team we think it is? Pop out onto the A site, and Togs can't hit the long range headshot, but DRG has a flash, ready and prime, behind triple, immediately traded. It's Pinstripe in the feed, Drop finds a double, and the rotates are getting cleaned up too. 2v2 now, but the bomb is down over towards that A ramp position at the moment.
Both players spotted as well, though, so this is great info. You still see this distraction being brought through here from Insani. 4 drop to make this move.
Oh, but RDN is prepared for it, but does nail the headshot drop. A laser beam right now in the pistol round, but Doc finds one back. It's a straight 1 versus 1. Needs the fork here. Doc also looking for a multi-kill of his own, and with 50 seconds to work this one out, Drop has got all the time in the world.
So much time here, but Doc with a really good rotation right now. Some concern caused, but still spotting out Doc quickly.
Oh, it's so messy. Neither player can hit the headshot right now. Repositioning the stairs. So, oh, he didn't finish the reload. Didn't matter. He gets it off. Now it's a true 1v1. Doc can't win it. It'll be Drop who hits the headshot. Madness in the pistol round. The 4K for Drop.
Oh, man, that's just pure confidence right there. Drop was saying one of these has to hit, and eventually they do connect. So able to close out another pistol so far. Flawless. 3 for 3 from MIBR on those pistol rounds. And again, it's going to set some concern in the economy here for Sharks. I think they're going to go for the full eco. We should see some stability in the 3rd round purchase here, but my concern again with these 3rd round buys is they're still going to be locking that off presence from gafolo. Not going to be able to bring that in.
Also not having a lot of utility as well, so it just feels as scrappy. But Mirage is a map that you can play, you know, decently scrappy. You don't need a lot of early CT side utility. We'll see this this full ego just get mopped up right now. Safe trying to farm up enough cash to get an AWP, and he's getting to work with the double kill there. Run from the back 10. Don't give this guy cash.
A little nade over the smoke right there, and they will give him all the cash right there.
Oh, man.
4 kills with the MAC-10, and MIBR, again, just asserting a little bit of dominance here, at least early. Still very early on. But like you said, there's going to be a distinct lack of utility. 1 smoke for gafolo. You have a lot of utility in Doc at least, but they're missing some flashes here. I mean, 3 flashes in total. You're talking about a team that wants to take some of that mid control, play as a squad here, and that requires a lot of utility, a lot of flashes, take that space, so they might have to sacrifice in some of that ground early.
And especially as the only molly has just been expended there from RDN. It's pretty neat. Lands towards the back of the apartments, but MIBR just going to disrespect that potential space control. They're just going to walk right through towards the back kitchen.
Getting ready for a pretty quick pop in towards this B side. Smoke for the window. They'll have the ability to fly up the catwalk, try and work their way in towards that B side. You can see already pressure applied here, but Doc does manage for some time, but not too long.
Oh, they're bound to the back of the site, though, bounding in. RDN will sideswipe the first, but has to concede the rest of the B site and can't cross out into the open because Safe has got that covered. Oh, but he just takes out the bomb. Oh, man. It's messy. He can't even hit the shot either. A huge opportunity squandered there just because he had the bomb. He had to drop it.
CS timing in a nutshell right there, but still able to make their way towards the site and just barely avoiding the rifle presence here. They're going to flash for market door.
Oh, or just a smoke.
Oh, it's a smoke.
Going through, and Sonny go up close, jumps on through, and he will get his kill. Exit finds a double as well. He just spams them straight through it. Gafolo now spotted 30 HP. The Glock is out, pistols out here. How did MIBR salvage this? They were so awkward on the site, but double kills everywhere you look.
Gotta run away. Oh, no.
Oh, we
able to
can't
escape
get it.
as well. And Sonny will clip him right at the edge as he tries to fade. And MIBR managed to make some magic happen right there. Just no business being able to stabilize that round. Pure chaos. So many awkward timings right there. You're talking about just the worst timing for Safe to get the bomb out, and as soon as they peek right there, he nearly got clipped by the wallbang damage and spammed out, but still managed to make that work, cutting off those rotations. And then the way that Insani plays it off the back of his teammate's smoke, finding himself a kill right there, ducking into it, exit, spamming the smoke as they jump out of window. It's so well coordinated right there, and it's exactly what MIBR needed to make that happen.
I mean, you know, despite Safe missing the shot, he did get a lot of information. You know, if he kept calm about it, he would be able to communicate. You know, there's 3 players in towards market at the moment. That allows Exit to have that knowledge and the understanding of what Sharks are trying to do in that situation. The spam of the smoke is pristine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, fantastic work coming through right there. Incredible stuff out of the gates. And I do think that Safe's one of those players that can keep his nerves nice and calm, that can keep those chaotic moments very clear. As it just shows how effective this roster is. 3v4. They've got an awkward spot they've got to fight their way out of, and everyone just coordinating perfectly. It's what you need to do here to keep yourself a nice little healthy lead.
Yeah, so we have a little break in the action here. Might have a little bit of a technical pause, but I do see players starting to buy up now, so we might be all good and ready to go here. But that honestly is a real testament to MIBR keeping cool in such a chaotic situation. You know, having to switch around the bomb, and then your offer almost going down. Like, it's stressful. But MIBR are able to communicate clearly and get it across in kind of the, I like to call it the micro situation there. You know, you already hit the site. You've already got that bomb planted. It's just now up to your players to make it work.
Yeah, they've got the right players to do so here. Again, that's a lot of experience, a lot of work being done right there. Find yourself in those clutch situations. You got to keep your composure. I have no trouble doing that much so far. And again, those sort of like 3v4s are something that you really got to work on. And it feels like MIBR have that under lock and key. But again, this team, like we said, they've been putting work in since the last player break ended in Europe, boot camping for quite some time, coming back for some qualifiers, some events here from South America, for some South American events, but really have been spending most of their time over in Europe getting those reps in. I think that is invaluable for a team that is looking to break through the mold here. That's kind of what's necessary right now. You want to try and get some good practice in. A lot of people say you got to do it in Europe. There's a lot of good South American teams that you can practice against, but you don't want to find yourself in a position where you can't break that ceiling. And of course, that's what MIBR are trying to do by getting these reps in.
Yeah, so yeah, we have a little bit of an extended pause, but it gives us some time to just, you know, talk about MIBR as a team. Again, been on the grind over in Europe and have really just, you know, evolved as a squad, like really good international results, you know, 3rd, 4th, that boom, Dacha taking down with like Cloud9 of all teams as well. Like, always such a terrifying team, a very individualistic team, Cloud9. And that kind of, you know, reveals some characteristics about MIBR as well, that they are able to handle, you know, some literally the best players in the world.
Yeah, elite players, there's no question that they can manage to do so. So when you're Sharks and you have to go up against that, it's obviously going to be a tall task and something that you have been able to do once before. But again, this is a whole nother roster. This is more experience building. This is more foundations. And it felt like for the most part that loss that they took to Sharks, it was a big off day, because we talked about 9Z and that almost loss with the coach that could have eliminated MIBR And then MIBR, of course, eventually making it to the playoffs of an event that they almost didn't even get to see, which was pretty impressive there in Yanchiping. But still, a roster that I've been super impressed with. Again, getting to talk to Safe at the beginning of this team, talking about his, just being so much more comfortable with players like, Insani, Exit in particular, and players like Drop that are willing to take that space, a player that he has history with as well. It's cool to see that he's been able to land on his feet and perform with this team too.
Yeah, I think a really big player who has stood out, we're all yapping about MIBR, but I do just have to say Drop has also just impressed on this team. It feels like every player, look, we're North Americans, we saw what they did to my boy Junior, but when you go through the Furia hoop, it feels like sometimes the player just kind of withers away a little bit, but has really found his element on this squad.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're talking about a player that can do a lot of work with, clearly teams that he's given resources for. I still think there's some more confidence that needs to be built since his time. But once he gets into, again, those RMR qualifications where he's going to be going up against teams he's very familiar with, those NA rosters that Safe has been able to just class time and time again, that's going to be something he's really looking forward to. And once we talk about him getting into those games versus NA teams, man, that's where he really shines, and that's where you can start to talk about MIBR being, the potential for major qualification. So obviously, again, that's where a lot of these teams are setting their sights, making it to these lands, getting more experience. If you're MIBR as well, that's going to be continued experience off of what was a great second half to 2023.
Cole, you're not calling Safe a new farmer, are you? You're not. No,
I'm calling him an NA farmer.
Okay, I mean,
which in terms makes him a new
farmer. Hey, one way or the other. Some analogies to be made there. But
yeah.
All things said, I mean, MIBR definitely one of the favorite teams to make it to the major. But, enough yapping from us, unfortunately. We're going to have to bring this one to a bit of a break, as we do have a bit of a technical pause and things need to get worked out behind the scenes. So we're going to toss this one off to a break. MIBR versus Sharks will continue right after this. See you guys in a bit. know, when it comes to shaking off the rust, we've had to do it here as well when it comes to the internet. Welcome back on in, and no. It's not a 3 versus 5, Cole. It's not a 3 versus 5. It's just a little HUD thing. All right. I panicked for a little bit too there. I did as well.
Okay, that's a little bit of a relief there. We are playing in the 5v5, just a little bit of a HUD thing going on. All is well, and MIBR. I guess we are playing in the 3v5 now, just in the favor of MIBR. At the moment.
Yeah, that's the problem here. Gafolo's gonna rattle off a shot though. Ooh, that's a nice shot on an exit. At least one back, but there's gonna have to be a whole lot more. And RDN is not in a great position. He's gonna get 2 mollies dropped on towards him, but the rotate is here. And
teammates.
Yeah, a full-blown stack, but Insani's gonna get to work disassembling that, and I think he spots the 2 remaining players as well. So we are bouncing on out of there, and MIBR probably have this A side on lock.
Yeah, very quickly moving away from that. And it could just be that RDN and Gafolo save 2 rifles. There's one down in underpass if they're able to grab that. And so, you know, not a bad way to go out of here.
Dead man walk and drop. 0 HP, but he still stands to plant the bomb. Of course, jokes only. MIBR going to be able to pick up this one with the bomb plant. Probably hold on to a couple of these rifles as RDN will go ahead and scoop this one safe on the chase, though. Just for a split second. So this is going to be another 4-0 start for MIBR. I mean, it's just been really, really solid stuff already. And just handling the anti-eco.
No problems there, MIBR. Great to reroute as well. Could have been caught in a situation where you just want to brute force your way to a bomb site, even if it means walking into a stack. And those rounds can get awkward very quickly. But Insani calls it off there, and they managed to bail out there pretty quickly. So good stuff coming through there overall from MIBR to make sure that they remain stable. And again, obviously a save coming through there for Sharks. But I think a lot of pressure going to be put on this round. We haven't gotten to see any rounds so far from the defensive. So far they've only played 8 rounds at the moment, or actually 9. So this is going to be another gun round where, you know, they actually might have the tools, they might have some extra utility to play on the CT side with, which is something we have not seen just yet from Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we haven't even gotten to see a CT side from Sharks, realistically. Like, they were just desperation force buying back on towards Nuke. And this is where I actually put a lot of emphasis on to Gafolo and what he can do in middle. Starts that round off playing in towards connector. If he starts feeling comfortable in that position, an AWP could definitely work wonders. So it's something that MIBR do need to keep in the back of their minds going into this one. They have yet to really play, you know, real Counter-Strike so far, especially coming at the back of like a 20-minute or so tech pause as well.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy at all. That tech pause, we'll see if it slows down any of the momentum there of MIBR, but like you said, maybe you can give some things here to settle the score here for the side of Sharks. I mean, again, I'm looking forward to seeing their first real shot at everything in their back pockets. They'll have utility, they'll have firepower. I'm not 100% sure if they'll have an op, but if they do, that'll be the first time that Gafolo's opping on the defense, which is obviously great news considering he didn't get to do it at all on the CT side of Nuke, which is something that, you know, we kind of say is a necessity to have a good opper on that map. So it's going to be good to see here, and it's going to give us a quick inkling of if this roster can kind of, you know, scare off MIBR any on this map.
Yeah, it's really is. You know, you have to be able to take some steps forward and actually like match the individual ability right now for MIBR. I think that is honestly the very first step. It's one thing to, you know, outcall your opponent, but MIBR have shown themselves to be a team who can just beat that with firepower alone. A drop went 18-8 on Nuke, and he was just beaming people across the map. And you have to kind of show up here on Mirage and find that same confidence, you know, find that same flow state that, you know, MIBR were able to hit over towards Nuke and try and match that. That is probably the most difficult thing right now for Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's going to come down to testing what sort of protocols that they have on this map. Are they going to be able to handle the explosive nature of MIBR? So far, we haven't seen a lot of very slow defaults. We have seen them, work the map a little bit here or there, take a lot of that mid control, as I mentioned here, something MIBR really like to do, and it's something that Sharks are going to need to figure out how to manage here. So that's why I'm putting a lot of emphasis on having the utility, because it's something you need as a defense. Unless you have someone landing a massive multi-kill, you have to have utility to support and collapse in on these mid defaults from MIBR. So finally having those tools at their back pockets is going to be really interesting, and again, it's going to be testing whether or not Sharks have that countermeasure.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of emphasis definitely gets put onto gafolo. And Doc, in my opinion, I mean, he's gonna be, those two players are just the win conditions, obviously the op, and just the person who's gonna be first contact every round. If Doc is going down at the start of these rounds, if he's unable to find these opening kills or at least get traded, put them into playable positions, then I mean, there's chances for Sharks, but in a lot of these rounds, again, Nuke was just simply a steamroll. There were so many rounds where MIBR just got the opening duel, then turned it to a 3 versus 5, bomb plant, save, rounds over, right? Need to have these playable rounds, right?
Yeah, no question about it. They need to find themselves in a position where they can fight back, but if they can't find that spot, then they're going to get into big trouble, because they want to build those foundations. Their T side, it's worse than their defense, right? I think they have something like a 37% win rate on the T side, and with that, you're going to find yourself in a position where you need to build up that foundation on your defense, because it just doesn't get it easy. This is why we were talking about the importance of Nuke heading into this veto, the importance of really Sharks figuring out a way to work this veto, because both rosters were able to float overpass at the beginning of this, both rosters permaban, that is. And in doing so, you would expect maybe some extra work, some extra priority on some bans, but again, Vertigo was a bit of a head scratcher, and that was the priority. So it does leave them in this tough spot where hopefully they've come through with some good game plans to counter MIBR.
Yeah, no, like I can maybe understand some of the decision making from Sharks. Again, this whole veto started off with, both teams permaban overpass. Let's start off with that point. And then Sharks take out Vertigo from the map pool. They could either do that or Mirage. And Mirage is arguably the weaker of the two. Like, Sharks have played against MIBR on Vertigo in an official, maybe different in practice, but they choose to pick into Mirage, or at least to let the Mirage through. So I assume they have something prepared, and this upcoming round is probably going to talk about it. But, well, we have another technical pause, folks. So we're going to have to bring this one off to a bit of a break while MIBR are fixing up some of their internet issues. At least that's what I've heard is the reason for the technical pause. So we'll see you guys after a break. Let's get this one. IEM Chengdu close qualifiers. Holy. So, well, thanks for you guys for sticking with us. We are back in from a very, very long technical pause, back into play, and finally Sharks with an AWP and the first gunner up by Cole Extra McHenry. The good stuff as MIBR taking on Sharks for a spot in the IEM Chengdu upper bracket here in South America.
We are back. Again, apologies for that delay there, but hopefully things stabilize from this point forward, and we can continue to see who's going to be looking to lock themselves a position in that upper bracket final. Again, testing this mid waters here safe, looking for a lot of duels right now.
Okay.
But there's a lot of attention on the counterpart here from Sharks. Ready for a collapse in on this side of the map here towards middle.
Yeah, but it's kind of a silent presence. No nades really thrown in from these players holding on. Definitely want to hold on to that connector position, though, as... well, maybe that could bait MIBR into this setup on towards Cat at the moment. Have RDN. Off angle. Perfect headshot as well. Dispatches of the first. Gonna go in for another swing, though. And safe. Couldn't hit the shot. And Togs hasn't even needed to reveal it. This one from Brennison. Maybe a little too much. Togs flies up catwalk, though, and takes the initiative. Advantage here for Sharks.
And they managed to punch out that player, boosted up and towards window. Palace Lurk dealt with, so
Wow.
wins on every single front, and Drop left with the only kill of the round here. The entry that he was able to manufacture. Pretty short-lived there towards the top of connector, and might just be the call on to save for the remainder here. So Sharks, they don't really fight for mid control, but they are ready to quickly collapse in on it once, you know, MIBR start throwing some punches. So really well placed from Sharks, able to manage all that pressure.
Yeah, it's also Tog's position inside of ladder room that was the real dagger there. Because you have RDN drawing a lot of presence and falling off of catwalk, but no one is ready for Togs to just fly up and get those immediate trades. Like, even if MIBR were able to equalize and, you know, match that, Togs from inside of ladder room is such a big part of that round. So multiple win conditions there for Sharks. And we're off to the next one. But a buy back in for MIBR, of course.
Quickly reply. More purchasing power. Ooh, gafolo nearly times the shot up perfectly. Again, a lot of emphasis put on this mid control. This time they're swinging for the fences here.
Yeah, Togs, though, is he prepared for this off-angle position? Well, he was, but Exit has the AK. The Dink returned with a headshot kill in advantage MIBR. Or maybe, for not much longer, though, that Molly will not touch down, and instead it's Brennison top middle battling, and in the meantime, pop out of A main. The reaction is good here from MIBR. Can Doc stop it? And he can't. Just ran down by too many players, and a good call, good reaction here from MIBR.
So quickly diving into the fray right there. Mid control managed. Once you start to see the Sharks fight there, position's way too strong. You can see Brennison finding a big entry, Exit finding a big entry kill. Those are two players down towards catwalk, and they get even more resources out of Sharks as well. That triggers Insomnia towards that A side. Good on gafolo to try and save this off. Finds Exit. I don't know if there's going to be much more hunting presence. They seem to be closing in, though.
Yeah,
and confidently.
Starts, and Drop also hurt the fallback, so he's just going to post up. Wow, this is such a nasty position. Hunted from multiple angles, and even safe playing with footsteps right now. Drop also walking up onto the site like gafolo is just toast here, let's be real. Walking up inside of Market and dropped by multiple players. He even gets to see on the death cam. Safe walk forward to really let him know, yeah, he was a goner there. Sharks, they pick up one, but MIBR immediately clap back.
Again, great reactions right there. That's pressure being tossed in towards mid. MIBR handled the aggression, then find the resources really nullified. And Sonny, perfect, you know, sort of aggression coming through from him towards that A side, willing to take that risk of making a move to try and attack. You know, probably just off of his own instincts right there. Great call coming through from MIBR here. See some panic and a quicker play this time without the resources spent towards mid. They will start to set their sights on towards this A side again.
So we'll have to see. Again, some pressure being put in from MIBR towards middle. But now the utility sets begin to roll on out, and it's an isolated DRG. This is exactly what MIBR want in this situation. Rotate's currently cut off, and DRG just gets dropped. Oh, through the molly he goes, and Doc as well. Just trying to fly through smokes here. Desperation from Sharks, but MIBR sideswiped them all. It's a quick and easy one from Made in Brazil. Steamroll again, and Sharks are off to the hills.
Dude, I mean, again, Drop willing to make that sort of move is absolutely unbelievable. Diving through a Molotov, making sure that his teammates can take that space. It was a perfectly placed melee from the Sharks, but it doesn't do anything when they run straight through it, disrespect it, and still find the inches to back it up. Your eyes aren't trained towards Palace right there. And Drop, he finds that kill. He lets his Tetris players move out and help out there as well. So I mean, just again, that sort of aggression coming through from Drop and the sacrifice that he's willing to do in some of these rounds is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's the commitment to the plan there from MIBR. You know, we're gonna hit the A site, and nothing's gonna stop us there. As well as, I think MIBR was super confident in just the knowledge there is only a single player on that A site. Drop can't afford to run through that molly because he knows the attention's gonna be away from him. And that is just some pristine awareness, and it's gonna draw out a timeout from Sharks.
I mean, yeah, if Drop's not taking that sort of space right there, then DRG has no pressure on him until that molly fades away. By that point, you could be talking about the players diving through that smoke being a whole lot more effective, because really the rest of the roster there on MIBR would be locked over towards Tetris, but instead they start to extend further ground, find themselves in great spots, and catch Sharks diving through those smokes. And that's exactly where you want to be on an A side execute. That has to be the commitment to the plan coming through from MIBR. Otherwise, that round might not go as well for them, considering the counter utility that was thrown their way. So they get 2 in a row once again off the back of a loss there for MIBR, and right back in the driver's seat once again. They have no trouble reaffirming themselves in this this series so far.
Yeah, if Drop doesn't disrespect that molly as well, it gives just the extra seconds for more manpower to arrive from Sharks. You know, there might be a retake attempt rather than a save if DRG stays alive. But MIBR, again, commitment to the bit. And once again, this time, a lot heavier on the mid presence, but Drop is able to sneak forward. Was he spotted by RDN is the question. This deep smoke could be disrespected. And in the meantime, Doc is in a fight middle. Sharks want this mid control, but it could be RDN in trouble. Instead, he goes down over towards the B side. It's Drop double entries them. And this is just, the wheels are coming off right now for Sharks. It's a save again.
Drop's having just a monster series so far. There's not a lot that you can do to handle this guy. Finding 2 entries on that B side, cutting off a rotate there and finding the B anchor. Just absolutely perfect right there on execution. You saw the vision as well at the beginning of that. He got past the Molotov, he got past the HE, he took a little bit of damage, but again, he's so willing to sacrifice a little bit of his health to find an entry, to find that space. And another prime example of that. He keeps getting away with it. Yet to die as well.
I mean, I love the reaction there from MIBR because so much presence in middle. There's yet another isolated site anchor, and 2 players are there to chase him down. It's just very nice that Drop can get the multi-kills as well. What a player, and how he's reinvented himself on this team.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the case there. I mean, used so effectively on this roster. A player that maybe got some flack there in his time towards Fury. Again, if you were watching some of the individual moves, I feel like wasn't a massive bit of the downward turn that these guys were going through when he was on Furia, but both of these players have come through and are looking to prove themselves, looking for a second opportunity that MIBR have given them, and that's exactly what they've taken advantage of here so far on this team with how hard these players have been working.
And now we have boost up and going for these swings. Safe not missing that one. Again, Sharks want to put on the mid pressure. Safe is just going to hand one right back. 150 caliber downrange.
Pretty flick as well. Pretty flick. Now Drop looking to take some space there. RDN needs to dive on out. He sticks around for a little bit of a duel there. Trading HEs back and forth. RDN's out. He's playing super confidently towards this B side here.
Yeah, even though he just got solo entried that previous one by Drop. I like this from MIBR, just pumping the brakes. Drop that nade drop, though, was certainly heard by DRG.
Any reaction off of the CTs off that utility? We'll have to wait and see. It's just going to be a bit of a fake here. His exit, he has 2 smokes to be able to toss him, but they're going to hear this fake, and I wonder if that's going to commit some players towards the B side. No, they're still rotating.
They are. DRG knows it's just a single player, though, and does sideswipe exit. That's going to call in the play, though, from MIBR, and Sharks, again, understaffed, and the fake works out. B site secured.
Rotate's already being made, but Insani's still lurking about here. They might know this. Insani's going to rush it in towards CT, catches 1 player off guard, traded by gafolo at the very least, so some stability found there in the save, but it will be a save.
I love it from Insani. Commitment to a bit again. We're still running the fake execute, even though they know we're on the B site. And he still gets a kill onto these saving players. I mean, MIBR are just completely outplaying the map right now. They're finding the weak site every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely incredible. Again, this is region that I feel like when you talk about outside of some of the top teams, needs to bring in some really good leadership and really good calling coming through. Like the IGL role, super important for so many of these teams, and they've got so much experience in that department here. But talking about players that have had to just pick up the mantle and figure out ways to work from that point here, I feel like they've done so incredibly well. And right there's a prime example of how effective the calling is coming through from exit, right? He's able to get that beautiful fake in towards that A side. It sells a rotate, completely collapse in on that B site with only one player. And it's all triggered off of some of that utility, some of that work being done in the map control.
Yeah, Sharks are giving a lot of information away, and well, okay, now how about we take some fights? Safe misses a shot there and gives Sharks a chance on the opener.
It's a beautiful start right there. That's exactly what they needed there. I mean, Safe, it could have been a chance for back-to-back openers, but gafolo swings for the fences right there and catches him off guard.
But that does allow mid-control for MIBR. Still off in play, so confident space to be taken. And oh, a nade, that's good. Could that clear the smoke? No, it was just going high enough. Maybe Togs could have had vision onto Brennison, but instead he gets himself into comms. Or just as it fades. Okay, there goes Brennison anyways. Well, that's going to call in the B play. And there's finally a setup here for Sharks. Finally some good news. As 3 players lie in wait now. Insani is good, but I don't think he's this good. And this is going to be a clean one for Sharks.
Nicely handled right there. Able to find some early picks, find that up to full effect there. gafolo given the resources, given an opportunity to dive over for some quick B plays. I mean, I feel like that's something that Sharks had to adapt to. You saw consistently that drop was disrespecting a lot of the early utility and taking that deep control. So this time they catch Safe a little bit off guard. Not ready to deal with that boost, but of course, they need to keep it up here. They need to continue to try and close things out. More success required. As quick mid-control taking so much utility, fast up catwalk.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is a change of pace here. MIBR full on towards that mid-control. Sharks nowhere to be found, so we have drop already in ladder room, but that's a great shot from gafolo right back to equalize from that opener on Safe. But, you know, complete mid-control still for MIBR.
The back of that pick, it's onto Insani, so it might encourage some of these A players to get aggressive on this A side. Knowing that you've dealt with a player that's been in Palace every single round so far on this half for it, MIBR. And that's exactly what they're going to do. You can see Doc, he's going on a little adventure towards that A main side of things. That's going to be so valuable to have late into this round.
Ooh, that's a missed molly there from catwalk, but not going to dissuade MIBR. Instead, DRG going for the swing. Very lucky to be alive. Eats a leg shot. gafolo, though, oh, he turns his back. How are you expecting drop to be in this position? Push forward and misses the shot critically. Down now into 3 versus 4. MIBR, safe passage onto the A site.
We got a player in Palace here still, but Artie and Zhao is mollied off right now. They can still lock in a bomb plant in the meantime here, but they should expect the player to be still on this A side. Yeah, Doc is being watched by Drop. Finally, Drop does go down here, but it's not going to be enough for the rest of Sharks to recover.
Yeah, wow, just all the kills off the conveyor belt there from MIBR. They're up now 9-2, and the steamroller looked like it's out again.
Just one by one, putting them on their plate right there, slowly but surely clawing their way through that round again. Drop being so elusive over towards that window room. I mean, poor gafolo, just nothing he could do to deal with that. Getting mollied off, getting chased down. It's so perfectly played, and MIBR looking at maybe turn up the heat for one last round of this half and seeing if they can get a quicker A approach.
And once again, they're hitting the weak site. It's only DRG up close. He gets deleted immediately, 4-on-4, but the rotates are nowhere close. Doc is gonna go for a swing. Lucky to sneak underneath. Safe AWP actually gets himself into a decent position, so that gets the info Sharks need.
A valuable A site stabilization right there coming through. Great reposition rolling on out there. will find themselves into a more manageable position. At one point in time, 3 players in the 4v4 huddling around towards middle. A severe lack of control this time. Insani being watched, though. And an incredible off angle from Doc.
Yeah, but maybe Insani, does he have any Pika's advantage? Oh, well, now he does. Shoulder spotted from both players. And a re-execute onto the A side. This time, 2 players in position, though. Safe falls immediately. This is looking decent, but need to get the reload off. Can't choose between the nade or the gun. Doc will go down. Quick 3-on-3 now. And time still available for MIBR.
But then they can distract long enough for this mid lurk here. Waiting for exit to be the next prong of approach right now.
Patience paying. RDN gonna take the same angles. Insani ready for it. He is absolutely deleted. Gafolo now, he's also getting spotted in towards jungle. Here's the close swing, but he is prepared for it. Dropped it to the 2v2. And with 15 seconds remaining, gotta get that bomb planted as soon as possible. And that allows Gafolo to reposition. Now, plant to go through, but a missed shot as well. Coverage is there from Insani. Will that be the bomb plant? Oh, no. But there it is. Togs didn't go for the swing. It's a 1v1 straight up. Need to be swung through, though, and Togs will convert upon it. Messy round towards the end, but Sharks will pick it up for at least that 9-3 half. Let's send it off to a bit of a break. Sharks with a lifeline. And so, 9-3 on the half here for MIBR. Some just crazy rounds, but all in all, it was really well played. You can see the thought process from MIBR as they dissected that CT side from Sharks. Can at least Sharks match them on the individual level and the calling. I'm fine, John McCullough, extra McHenry. Are we going to be here for any much longer?
So far, MIBR been flawless on the pistols. Will that change finally? Now that Sharks need a bit of a lifeline here in this map, in this series really overall. We'll see if they can handle this pressure as the execute comes through.
Yep, RDN pops the first, but Safe also does the same on the dock. But the real kill, okay. Brennison just drops togs. That's a bomb stuck up in Palace.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's going to put the brakes to a complete stop on this A-site play. And MIBR gather here for a retake. DRG looking for the swing in towards Spa, but he might get more than what he bargains for. 3 players around the corner. And here's the coordinated swing. He can't even get the one. Trades are in from MIBR, and it's just gafolo in towards the default position. Makes the cross miraculously out of ammunition too, but now down to 19 and ran down from Tetris. Surely this is where it ends. Low HP on a couple of these players with the defuse going down. It's not planted for him. He's getting these kills. Oh my goodness, gafolo pulls it off. What on earth was this? Sharks need this desperately, and they get it.
Oh, that's the lifeline that they were asking for right there. gafolo makes magic happen on that A side. Absolutely no business even being able to cross right there to deal with the planter, but lands some quick headshots to get the job done. And MIBR don't know what hit him right there. Absolutely stunning stuff, and again, that's to break the flawless streak of pistols that MIBR have had here so far.
What was that? I mean, that's mandatory. This game's over, and we'd call it wraps there for Sharks. They'd be sent down to the lower bracket instantly, but that is... Alright, that's a lifeline. That is something that could definitely inspire Sharks just a little bit. They haven't had any of that this entire series. Now, a stack does await. There's a small, but not impossible chance that MIBR could potentially win this. A couple of kills do come into the feed, but, well, it's now just exit to complete the 1v3 with an armorless USB. Does hit the double dink, but nothing more. That is 5 rounds for Sharks.
Some decent damage being done right there from MIBR, but very quick from Sharks to close that distance there. Now 4 rounds trailing on MIBR. The first gun round will come through here, and again, it is going to be a wild test. It's great that they're able to win a fantastic looking pistol here, but a whole lot more work required to start pulling things back piece by piece, and it's all going to be about what sort of preparation they can do here. How much have they improved during this off time on this map to increase the T-side results that have been severely lacking prior to the player break?
We'll have to see. For now, it's going to be flying up catwalk right now. Doc charging forward for the opening kill and gets the space that Sharks want. Drop now on the hold, though, and boy, he locks in 2. Out of ammunition will stop him from 3, but still, rotates are already here. Safe back at the site and handles the 2 remaining players. MIBR are back in the driver's seat.
And they found so much damage on the USP round that the money has immediately collapsed. And while it was a huge hiccup on the pistol, sure, you can say that, it might just be a little bump in the road for MIBR on their way to this upper bracket finals by how things are shaping up right now. Purchasing power here is going to be limited. Only a single AK being brought to the table here from Doc, and that's about all you'll have here. So hoping that Doc can do some good work here once again.
I mean, that's the prayers, but, you know, he needs multi-kills. Can't afford these 1-for-1s because MIBR are really fast on these reactions. I think that's been the strongest point for this team. And now with full mid control, Sharks are going to group up for a bit of a late pop. Brennison holding from catwalk, though, brings out the laser beam that is the A1S and makes a double kill out of it. Sharks are just getting battered. There are 4 players in position and 4 players erased from the kill feed. Sharks are pulverized here by MIBR.
Yeah, I mean, one by one, they try and float out towards middle right there. They just don't have the utility to do much up against all rifles right there. You need to find some entries, and they get cut off on the inbound there to Brennan Sen, who just tracks him so incredibly well. So again, this could be an early dismissal of Sharks straight towards that lower brackets with a confident 2-0 victory for the favorites.
It's, you know, it's a different team, this MIBR, from like previous close qualifiers. There's just more discipline in this team and just no hesitation, better reactions. I mean, this time in Europe is really showing its full colors at the moment. And again, within the shadow of the RMR that's coming up in just a couple days, or at least the RMR close qualifiers, this team is one of the teams that are certainly in contention for that major, at least to make an appearance.
Absolutely. No question about it. This is a start to a statement here for MIBR to show that they are going to be one of those favorites. We get a little cheeky B-rush of sorts. Let's get a lot of utility out and distracting these players here from the Glocks. It's all good, though. It's all handled with ease right now, and a QB sneak for GRG to try and get a bomb plant down. You can't even hate the idea. Nice try, but of course, MIBR going to close that out.
Yeah, brutal stuff here from MIBR. Even with like a long technical pause in between, it's just business. It just shows how much this isn't a fluke or some sort of momentum shift. This is just all perfect calling, perfect reaction. It's business here for Made in Brazil. And they're up 12-5 and looking at that 2-0. Just stopping Sharks from even getting, 10 rounds across 2 maps is something to behold.
Absolutely. No question about it. They're out of the gates, though. It's just putting Doc down, trying to get that entry work done, but at least looking to stabilize towards mid with the trade. They just can't push their way out, though. They're getting met by mollies and counter util.
Yeah, and already basically out of utility and down a player. Will get mid control as their only consolation, but MIBR don't want to let off the gas. 2 players in towards window right now, and as gafolo tries to sneak up catwalk. Save. Could get spotted. But now togs falls on the other side of the map. DRG next in line. At least 2 refrags back. Make it 3 to put this round into contention for Sharks. It's the first step in a long road, potentially.
Right idea on exit as well. Know where he is, know where he's locked into. It's all about the timing now.
RDN is pretty focused towards that A main position, but makes it good on the swing. So now drop tossed into the clutch, and Sharks looking to get things started.
Absolutely. I mean, what an incredible recovery right now. They have to worry about this last flank. Drop is quick on it. Oh.
But gafolo's a little bit faster, I guess. All right, 6th round there for Sharks. Cash in the bank for MIBR. Let's be very certain about it. But able to win out the 2v5.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't get any easier to close from that point forward. Obviously, that 2v5, maybe some Astros on it with a lot of quick trades that came through, but still an impressive recovery at that. Sharks had to fight their way through so many of those tough duels, and piece by piece able to pull it back. So another lifeline for these guys. Said a disciplined MIBR team so far. They've had a couple of frustrating losses, but they still managed to find their footing to get past that.
We're still inside the smoke, and okay, there's the entry that Sharks needed. I mean, hey, the game isn't over until a team hits 13 and wins it, so that's a crispy entry from Doc as well.
Extra damage on the Insani. Add to the tally right there. They find themselves in a tough 4v5 recovery. They do start to gamble stack a little bit off the back of that.
Yeah, smoking towards connector, but does Insani see anything? Well, he doesn't, and that might cost you just a little bit. Extinguished, push through, and tough beats on the information, just sneaking underneath the nose of MIBR. Sharks are gonna get a blowout round.
With ease right there, breaking past that perfect collapse coming through. Silent claw up connector. Big entries towards mid from Doc. Finally finding his footing on some of these early aggressive plays. He's going to get a lot of those versus this team if he wants to take the tools towards middle. Nice easy shot for drop. Walks right into his crosshair. Don't really want to let him save the up. If that's what the one gun you're going to be going up against this next round, you make the case to hunt for it.
have another opportunity. Only gets the leg shot, though, and that allows these players to continually close the gap. And unable to hit the shot onto gafolo. Drop, hunted down, and MIBR's money has actually just been broken. You know, 5 rounds, it's MR12, folks, is not that far of a distance to cross.
Not at all. And the way that they've been winning these rounds shows that they are not ready to say die just yet. It's still going to be very difficult, you know, once they get back into these rifles. But they've got some clutch factor. They've got some, a couple of unreasonable rounds already won out here so far in this half. And maybe they are lifeline rounds. They've gotten 2 of them, and that's 2 more than you'd think you'd get. But that oftentimes can be the cause for a lot of frustration for your opponents and a lot of momentum for yourself.
So, MIBR do have to find ways to close. Like, they had a 2 versus 5. Now, 2 consecutive rounds. Have followed that one up. BRG just running a solo execute here. He'll get traded out, but that's perfectly fine in Sharks camp. Simple walk out to the B site will get the plant. So, all MIBR taking out of this one, probably just a dropped rifle.
Yeah, maybe 2 if Full of 6 around here. Safe spotted out, and the collapse coming through there. Safe gonna fall, but the chase is in. That's gonna be the 2 rifles they wanted to find. Not much of a point to hunt. You don't want to throw away everything. I guess it doesn't matter. You don't have much to lose, but Sharks will be able to continue to increase that count. Finding themselves at 8, only 4 rounds away. Got to keep it up.
And so, it's a save for MIBR, but they do get to hold on to these rifles. Wonder how the loss bonus is building, if there's enough for exit. Which doesn't look like there is. I was thinking maybe an op could be dropped over, but who am I to say anything? Safe just has the money, casually. So, we're going to have a real purchase here for MIBR, if they want it, is the question.
Should want it there. Safe hasn't been doing too much missing, but does go get a rifle for himself, so they will go without the telescope just yet. Oh no, he's selling. Okay, there it is. Just a late buy. Rolling out there, no big deal, although it could have cost one their life there. And Sonny just about makes it safely across right there. My God.
Yeah, that could have been a really sour start for a round you've been waiting ages to try and get started with. It looks like we're just going to see a straight B play from
Already
Sharks.
lost their molly.
Right about that. But a deep nade and an execute coming through. Drop, able to reposition, just trying to survive. He does, and gets the double, and maybe just ends the map there. You would think Drop, he's a dead man walking fully blind, but trying to skip a few steps. Didn't cross all their T's and dot their I's. Sharks might be out of this series.
That pathing was so perfect right there, nearly taking care of the get-right play of your teammates at that point. Should have been able to trade Drop, but they can't afford to give over too much. They've already lost 1 2v5. You don't want to add another one. And right now, with 2 players incredibly low, 1 bullet could do Britizen and Drop in.
It is a maximum security prison, though, around this bomb. It's going to take a lot to break into this one. gafolo will begin to post up on the angle. He's hoping for mistakes, but none given, as that will be it. MIBR will stop this comeback in its tracks and end this 13-8. All things said, Cole, both maps, complete steamrolls. That's exactly what we wanted to see out of MIBR.
Yeah, again, so some big loss rounds there when you talk about the clutch factor coming through for the Sharks.